morning, mathematicians. Welcome back to At Home with APS. We're going to start again this morning with our calendar math routine that we started yesterday morning. And so the first thing we're going to do is think about what month we're in. Does anybody remember from yesterday what the name of the month is? That's right, it's June. Flip that up a little bit, you can see it better. And yesterday was Monday the 22nd. So today is going to be a Tuesday. And let's start counting from last Monday and see what number the date is today. So last Monday was the 15th. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's right. Today is going to be 23, or when we're talking about a date, we say the 23rd. So today is the 23rd of June. How do I write 23? Right, a 2 and then a 3. Now, let us look at the pattern that's on our calendar. Does anybody remember what that pattern was? It was a triangle and then 2 circles. A triangle and then 2 circles. And there's also a pattern with the colors, right? Green, red, red, green, red, red. So if yesterday, Monday the 22nd, was a green triangle, what is the pattern for today, Tuesday the 23rd? Exactly, it is a red circle. All right, so we already said that today is Tuesday the 23rd. So I'm going to take my sticky notes here on our days of the week. And Tuesday is today. So then what was yesterday? Right, yesterday was Monday. That is the day before today. And what will tomorrow be? That's the day after today. If today is Tuesday, tomorrow will be Wednesday. Exactly. All right. We're showing our day of the month here on our 10 frames. And we talked about this is a full 10 frame, so that means there's 10 dots on it. Another 10, so 10, 20, 21, 22, and we need to add one more for 23. All right. We're going to work on our today's number chart. So today's number is 23. We already talked about how to write that number. Yesterday, we wrote our number, or we represented our number in tally marks. Remember what tally marks are? We can put them in groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we showed it in tally marks yesterday, and each of these groups, what is the amount in each of those groups? Do you remember? 5. So we could also count it 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23 for our number of the day. And I meant to mention before we started, if you want to pause me and get a piece of paper, you could take a piece of paper and fold it in half and then in half again, and you'd kind of get these 4 squares for our today's number. And then you could write the number 23 in there. And then you could also be showing different ways to show 23 or to represent 23 the same way that I am. And maybe you would do it the same way, or maybe you would think of some different ways. So if you want to pause the TV and go get a piece of paper, unless you already have one, you could be doing this along with me if you'd like. So we did tally marks. I was thinking about Is there another way to show 5 as a group that you might have seen before? I was trying to think of a different way I could show 5. Yeah, you might have seen 5 as the 5 that we see on a dot pattern or a dice. I think I might make my marker a little bigger. Let's see if we can get rid of those. Let's make it bigger. That's a lot easier to see. Does that look like a 5 you've seen before on a dice? So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then 21, 22, 23. They kind of look like dice, don't they? How many 5s are up there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 5s in 20. All right, so if we wanted to write some number sentences, our number sentence for this representation and this one would be the same, right? What would I write? 5 plus, now I should probably make my pen smaller so it's not quite so hard to write. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So that's our 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. And 3 more would give me the 23. That's our today's number. How else could we write a number sentence for 23? Yesterday, we thought about using our 10-frame representation, right? 10 plus 10 plus 3. We could do that again. And then you were supposed to think about other ways you could write number sentences. Did you think of any other ways for yesterday's number that we might be able to use something similar to today? What about subtraction? Did you think about subtraction? How could I have a number sentence that equals 23 if I wanted to use subtraction or takeaway? I'd have to start with a number bigger, huh? A nice, easy number that's a little bigger would be 25. So if I started at 25, how many would I have to take away to get to 23? I'm going to use this to help me think about that. So this was 23. If I put one more dot there, I'd have 24. And if I put one more there, I'd have 25. So that means I have to take away 2 to equal 23. So now we've got an extra number sentence today. All right, if we put 23 in the middle of our hundreds chart representation, what number comes after 23? 24. What number comes before 23? You're right, 22. How about 10 more than 23? After the 20s is the 30s, right? 33. What would 10 less than 23 be? The teens come before that, so it would be 12. Oop, not 12. It would be 13. 12 was our teen number from yesterday. All right, let's do some counting starting at 23. I think later on in the lesson, Ms. Carnes is going to count with you by ones, and so we're just going to count by tens starting at 23. So when we're counting by tens, remember we're going down the hundreds chart. And I wonder if I angled this a little bit. So if we're at 23, the next 10 would be 33. Count with me. 43, 53, 63, 73, 83, 93, 103. Nice counting. All right, we're going to look at our counting jar. I have something different in our counting jar today. What do I have in our counting jar? Dominoes. Have you ever played with dominoes? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're not probably going to stand up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 dominoes in our counting jar today. So do you remember how many we had yesterday? We had bears yesterday. That's right, there were 12 yesterday. So we have one less today than we did yesterday. So if you are a kindergartner at the end of today, or you can pause the camera and do it, or the TV and do it right now, I want you to make your own collection of 11. If you're a first grader, you're going to double that. And 11 plus 11 is 22. So you need to make a collection of 22. And if you're a second grader, you need to double that. And 22 and 22 is 44. So second graders, after we're done today, make a collection of 44 things. See what you can find around your house that you can get together 44 things. All right, so that's our counting jar for today. We'll put those back in there. One of the last things we'll do before we pass it off to Miss Karnes is talk about a puzzle from our book, Math for All Seasons, the puzzles. Ooh, this one is called Raining Cats and Frogs. They say it's raining cats and dogs. Why not lizards, snakes, and frogs? Next time the weather's getting wet, forget the forecast. Call a vet. Can you count the dots you see? Try to add them cleverly. So here's where our hint comes in, right? We're counting the dots, and they want us to add them cleverly, so I bet that means some grouping. Group them in a special way. Make sums of 10 this rainy day. So if you look at those umbrellas and the dots that are on them, how can we make sums of 10? Let's see, this one has 1, 2, 3. This one has 5. This one has 3 in the middle, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have a 3, a 7, a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 2 5s. Well, what do we know about 5? 5 and 5 makes 10, right? So these two would make a 10. Does 7 and 3 make 10? I think it does. 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 and 3 is another way to make a 10. So these two make a 10, and these two make a 10. And that's our puzzle in our book today. The last thing that we're going to do is I told you yesterday that we would add a little bit of vocabulary each time. And we had a couple words that we used a lot yesterday. Miss Karnes used the word digit a lot yesterday. And so we're going to make sure we add that, right? She used the word digit. So in the number 66, there are 2 digits because each of those numbers is called a digit. So we'll put that up here. And then we have some words that Ms. Karnes is going to use later today. So I'll let her talk a little bit more about them. But less than and greater than. And this is the math symbol that you could use for less than or greater than. If it's less than, the small side of the symbol points towards the thing that is less than. If it's greater than, the big part of the symbol. Sometimes people think of that like a mouth eating the bigger number. But less than means smaller, and more than or greater than means more. So we'll add that one to our chart to be thinking about as well. It kind of reminded me of the 10s and 1s, and maybe we'll move those around later to get those on the same spot. All right, I think that's all for our calendar today. Ms. Karnes is going to come out and do some more math with you all.
Good morning, kiddos. How are you today? I'm so glad to be with you. We're going to start with something called alternate counting. We're going to pull up a big hundreds chart to help us. Okay. That might be just a little too big, huh? Let's see. Oh. Can I do that? There we go. I knew there was a way to get rid of everything at once. Okay. Well. All right, kiddos. So, today we're going to do something called alternate counting. And let's talk just a little bit about what that means. That means I'm going to count and say a few numbers in a row, and then you are going to count at home and say the next few numbers in a row. So let's practice. Okay, I'm going to pick a card to see what numbers we should start with. Okay, are you ready? Let me move aside so you can see our big number chart a little better. So I've drawn a 2. 2 is a good number to practice. So since I drew 2, I'm going to count 3, 4, 5. The next 3 numbers. We started with 2 and I counted 3, 4, 5, right? Now I want you to count the next 2 numbers. So I'm going to start again, just so we can feel how it flows, and we're ready to go. So I drew a 2, and I count 3, 4, 5. You count with my triangle. Did you count? 6, 7, 8, along with the sound of my triangle. So this is how we'll do our alternate count, and we're going to start with some different numbers. Let's see what's the next number in my pile. The next number I draw is 18. So here we go. Miss Carnes is going to count 18, 19, 20, 21. Now you count. Did you count? 22, 23, 24. Nice job. Let's see what we count from next. I drew a 26. So what number comes after 26? Where am I going to start? 26 is here. All right, I'm going to start with the next number. 27, 28, 29. What did you count? Did you count 30, 31, 32? That could be a tricky count because sometimes it's hard to remember what comes after our special 10 numbers, like what comes after 30. So it's good to practice, and good job for you. This time I get a 52, that's a big number. So 52, what's the next number? The first number I'm going to count. Right, 53, 54, 55. Did you count? 56, 57, 58 with my triangle? Nice work. Okay. The next number I draw is 75. So what's the first number I count? What comes right after 75? That's right. 75 is way over here. 76 comes next. 76, 77, 78. This time, let's track it differently with our fingers. So Ms. Carnes stopped at 78. Let's track your next 3 counts with fingers. 79, 80, 81. Were you able to cross over the decade? Did you remember what came after 79? That it was 80? And that after 80 came 81? That can be another tricky one. Let's do one more, and then we're going to use this practice to help us fill out a hundreds chart number puzzle. My last card is 94. So I'm going to track my counts with my finger, and then I want you to track your next counts with your finger. So I have 94, 95, 96, 97. What did you count? Did you count 98, 99, and where did you land on your third count? 100. Nice job, guys. So that's alternate counting, and we'll do some more of that too in the future now that we've tried it together. Okay, so let's look at our hundreds chart puzzle now. Let's get it a little smaller. So we're looking up to our Promethean. And this reminds me also of what Mrs. Obenshain did with you during calendar today, right? Because you thought about the number 23 and where it fit on a hundreds chart and numbers that would be above it on the hundreds chart, below it, so that would be 10 more, 10 less, and also numbers that were before and after, so that's great practice. So some of our numbers are filled in to help us. Not all the numbers are shown, but we're going to use what we know about the hundreds chart and counting to fill this in. So we can think about starting with our 1 and think about how we counted with Mrs. Obenshain, right? If we went down, made a big jump down to the very same spot in the next row, then we've added how many? We talked about this morning and last week. We've added 10. So 1 plus 10 more would give us, that's right, 11. We can also check, right, by just doing some counting forward to make sure, because we have a number here to help us, 14. So let's check. 11, 12, 13, 14. We were right. 11 is the number that belongs there in that first box. So what number comes right after 14? That's right, 15. And we can keep counting to fill in these next two boxes, can't we? 16, 17. It's kind of like our alternate counting where we started counting at different places. Okay, so, how could we think about this next box we have to fill in? I can think of a few ways, right? We could count forward by ones, or we could think about our pattern of jumping by 10. Above this next space, we have a 9, don't we? So, if we make a big jump down to the very same spot in the next row, we've jumped 10. So what's 9 plus 10 more? That's right, it's 19. That's one way we can know what belongs there. We can check by counting forward by ones, right? 17, 18, 19. That's a good double check. The other thing we might remember is what number would go here. This row in our hundreds chart is all of our special 10 numbers. So we know that what comes after 19 would be a 20, and 20 belongs in this last column on our hundreds chart, right? With the 10s. All right, let's hop down to the next row. How do you want to figure this one out? We have a big jump from 11, 10 more down. What would it be? 11 plus 10. What could it be? Very good. 21. If we weren't sure, we could go back up and count. 19, 20, 21, couldn't we? It's a good way to check. I'm noticing a pattern here too. Maybe we can use that when we hop down to the next row. So here we are now right under 19. That means we're making another jump of 10. So what's 10 more than 19? That's right, it's 29. We could also think about our 10s and know that 30 is the number that's going to belong here, right? That helps us to know that 29 is what belongs in the box right before it. If we think about our special tens column, that's at the end of our hundreds chart. Okay, let's think about the pattern we have going down here to fill in this first box. We have 1 and 10 more is 11, and 10 more is 21. What do you notice about those numbers? The digits. The last digit is a 1 in every one of those numbers. So I think the last digit in this number, or the second digit, will be a 1. What number do you think it is? That's right, it's 31. Because 31 is 10 more than 21. This next one we should be able to figure out, right? What number comes right after 31? You got it, it's 32. This one could be a little trickier. There's a few ways to figure it out though, right? So we could count over by ones, we know that. Let's use that as our check, and let's try a different way. We've got a 45 down here, and we know that when we jump down a row, we're adding 10. But what if we jump back up a row? Then we're taking 10 away. So what is 10 less than 45? That's right, it's 35. We have a good idea that we're right because this row has all 30s in it so far. And we could count 32, 33, 34, 35. Nice job. So we can use the same pattern over here, right? What do you notice about these numbers coming down from 9? The second digit after 9 of each number is a 9. So I think this number is going to end in a 9. What number will it be? We're in the 30s family, right? So it must be 39. And that now can help us think about the box before it. What number comes right before 39? Very good, 38. It's good to think about the number that comes before also, because that can help us think about subtracting or taking away later on. So now we have 45 right in the middle of this next row. So we know that this is the 40s family. What comes right before 45? That's right, 44. And we can use the pattern of 5 and 4, right? If you know that 4 comes before 5, you can use that to help you know that 44 comes before 45. Comes right after 45. You got it, 46. Okay, and I think we'll have time to do just a couple more. This puzzle is, you can do puzzles like this at home with your hundreds chart and cover up different numbers and figure out what's missing. Okay, a big jump down from 45. Let's count it. 35, 45, 55. You've got it. And we'll have to leave our hundreds chart puzzle there today, but I hope that you'll get out your hundreds chart at home and try some of these puzzles with a parent or a helper or a friend at home. And now we're gonna have Mrs. Obenshane come back up and read us a story.
All right, we are gonna read a story. Before we do that, I'm going to just show you what the title is, and then we're going to do a little warm-up activity and connect it to that title to see if we can give you an idea of what might be happening in this story. The book is called 12 Ways to Get to 11. It was written by Eve Miriam, illustrated by Bernie Carlin, and published by Aladdin Books. All right, our warm-up is going to be a game of finger flash. And so we can make numbers. We've been practicing making 5. Remember yesterday you played a game with Miss Carnes at the end of our lesson where you were making 5, and I think I played that game too. And we thought, oh, well, if I have 2, I could use 3 to make 5, right? I can see that I need 3 more fingers because this is 5 when they're all up. But I could do it on 2 hands too. So if I have 2, I need 3 to make 5. That's one way to make 5. What if I have 4? Can you put up a hand to show what I need to make 5, or show me both, the 4 and what else I need? What do I need? 4 and 1 made 5, right? Let's see. I'm going to do another one. What if I have 3? How many would you put up on your other hand to make 5? 2. Is that what you have up? Exactly. Let me try another one. What if I put out 5? What do I need on my other hand? This was that tricky one. We don't need anything, do we? Right? Because we already have all 5. All right, let's try another one. What if I have 1? How many do I need to make 5? Did you put up 4? Exactly. And then what if I have 0? How many fingers am I going to need on my other hand to make 5? I'm going to need 5, right? We just came up with 6 ways to make 5. Does that sound familiar to like thinking about the title of this book? 12 ways to get to 11. Does that give you an inkling of what it might be about? All right, let's read and try to find out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Where's 11? Pick up 9 pine cones from the forest floor and 2 acorns. Is that 11? We have 9, and we pick up 1 more, would be 10, and another one would be 11. 9 and 2 would make 11. At the circus, 6 peanut shells and 5 pieces of popcorn. Does that make 11? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It does. Do you think that each of these is about a way to make 11? There might be a lot of different ways, don't you think? Out of a magician's hat, 4 banners, 5 rabbits, a pitcher of water, and a bouquet of flowers. I'm going to go through the pages and then we're going to check these to see if they make 11. Go past 4 corners, 2 traffic lights, and then past the house with 2 chimneys and the garage with 2 cars and a bicycle. Now you're at 11th Street. Isn't that funny? What do we had? We had 4 corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 traffic lights, so 5, 6, a house with 2 chimneys, 7, 8, a garage with 2 cars, 9, 10, and a bicycle. That is a way to make 11. 6 bites, a core, a stem, and 3 apple seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is. On the boat, there are 2 masts. That's these big poles that hold the sail up. A big and a little sail. This is the sail that catches the wind. 4 life preservers. Those are right here. They look kind of like lifesaver candies, don't they? But you've used them to throw out in the water to rescue people if they fall off the boat. A flag, a ladder, and an anchor. A flag, a ladder, and the anchor is right there. That's what you use to drop into the water when you want to keep the boat in one spot. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3 turtles sleeping, 2 frogs swimming, 1 lily pad, and 5 dragonflies darting on the top of the pond. Do you think that makes 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What am I missing? The lily pad. 11. Thanks for the help. The jack-o'-lantern has a cutout nose and eyes and 4 teeth on the top row and 4 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I'm really getting what the name of this book is all about. In the mailbox, 7 letters, 2 packages, a mail order catalog, and a picture postcard. It's a pretty full mailbox. I bet there's 11 things in there. 3 sets of triplets in a baby carriage, in baby carriages, more than one, and a pair of twins in the stroller. So triplets means that there are 3 brothers and sisters, and twins means 2. A sow and 10 baby piglets. The babies are piglets, and the sow is the mama. 10 and 1 more would definitely make 11, wouldn't it? In the hen yard, 5 eggs, 3 cracking open, 2 beaks poking out, and 1 just hatched. Oh my goodness, our eggs are turning into baby chickens. There they are, there are all the little chicks. Do you think that there are 11 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so we're going to go through the story and we're going to write up the number sentences that go with our story. I don't think we need this anymore. Let's see which one of my pens I want to use here. All right. So our first picture, when we were trying to find 11, was 9 pine cones and 2 acorns. So 9 plus 2 equals, and we figured out that did equal 11, right? 9, 10, 11. And the next page was the circus, and we had peanuts and popcorn. 6 peanuts and 5 popcorn. Is that another way to make 11? Well, we know, if we know our doubles, that 6 and 6 would be 12. And if we took 1 away, that would be 11, right? Or we could think about 6 having 5 and 1, and 5 and 5 is 10, and 1 more is 11. It's another way to think about how to put those together to make 11. What about this page? 4 banners, 5 rabbits, a pitcher of water, and a bouquet of flowers. 4 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1 equals what? Wonder if we look at those numbers, we can see a way that we can put them together to put 10, because that would make it easy to see if there would be 11, because 11 is just 1 more than 10, right? Do you see a way to make 10? The 4 and 5 makes a 9, and 9 and 1 more is 10. Or if we put a 1 with one of these 4s, 4 and 1 from our warm-up, we know makes 5, and a 5 and a 5 would be 10 and 1 more. So I think that's definitely 11. This was our street corners. We had 4 corners and 2 traffic lights. 4 and 2 makes 6. I wonder if that will help us. And then we had 2 cars and 2 chimneys. And 2 and 2 makes 4. 6 and 4 is another way to make 10. And then we had 1 bicycle. So that is another way to make 11. Six bites, a core, a stem, and 3 seeds. 6 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3 equals. I could put the 3 and 1 together to make a 4, and 4 and 6 is 10, and then 1 more is 11, just like we talked about up here. The boat. We had 2 masts and 2 sails. So 2 plus 2 gives us 4. And then we had 4 life preservers. 4 and 4 is how much? 8. That's a double also, right? And then a flag, a ladder, and an anchor. So 1 plus 1 plus 1. So if this was 8, and we could put these together to make 2 more, that would be our 10. And 1 more is 11. All right. Got a few more minutes that we can keep adding some sentences up. Maybe, hopefully we'll get, I think that we're gonna end up with 12 different number sentences, don't you? 3 turtles, 2 frogs, a lily pad, and 5 dragonflies. 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5. Well, right away, do you see another way to make a 5? Our 3 and 2 makes 5, right? 5 and another 5 is 10, and 1 more is 11. There it is. Can you see why knowing how to make a 5 is kind of handy? It's helped us out a lot here, putting numbers together. Our jack-o'-lantern. We had a nose and 2 eyes, 4 teeth, and 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. So a nose, 2 eyes, and then a 4 and a 4 on our teeth. We have 8 there, right? 4 and 4 is a double. 2 more makes 10, and 1 more makes 11. The mailbox. We didn't figure this one out, but I'm betting it's 11. 7 letters, 2 packages. So 7 plus 2 plus 1 catalog and a picture postcard. This 2 and 1 makes 3, and 7 and 3 makes 10, and 1 more is 11. I don't think we're going to have the time to do the rest of the number sentences, but we definitely had the page about the triplets and the twins, so that would be another way. The pig and the babies, and then the chicken eggs. So that's 3 more ways. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was 12 ways that we could make 11. And I bet there are even more. So your challenge at home is to see if you can come up with either more ways to make 11, or you could think about ways to make other numbers. See if you can find ways to make 20 or 30 or different other combinations. All right, I think Ms. Carnes has a game for us now.
Right. Hello, hello. We're going to start with a little warm up, and then we're going to play a dot pattern game, and we'll invite Mrs. Obenshain back up to play that with us. So before we start, I'm going to show you some dot patterns. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to show them quickly, kind of like we do with our frames, okay? So get your eyes ready. I'm going to hold them right in front of me. And you think about and say out loud at home how many dots you see. How many dots did you see there? That's right, there were 3. How did you know there were 3? Most of you probably just saw that there were 3, right? We can also think about there's 2 and 1 more, and that's 3. What about this one? Ooh, let's see. Ready? Eyes ready? How many dots? Draw it in the air. Think about how many you saw. How many dots were there? That's right, there were 4. Drawing in the air can help, and you can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Many of you might have already known there were 4, or thought about 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's another way. Here's a fast one. That's right, 1 dot on that card. How many here? Draw it in the air. Did you count them up? How many were there? There's 6. Maybe you counted them in the air. Maybe you thought about 3 and another 3, and that gives you 6, right? We know our doubles. We've been talking about doubles today too. All right, here's another fast one. How many did you see? That's right, there's 2. And we've got just one more. How many there? Did you say 5? You were right. Can you think of another pattern we used that would help you to know there were 5? That's right. The 5 dot pattern looks just like the 4 dot pattern with one more. And 1 more than 4 is 5. Nice job. So now we're going to play a game together, Mrs. Obenchain and I and you, called Dot Pattern Match. So I'm going to pull that up on our computer. The computer is tired, it went to sleep. Okay, very good. So to play this game, you need a special die with 1 through 6, or it could even just have the dots for 1 through 6. Or if you don't have that at home, you can always use a spinner, and we have a spinner here to use today, so we can show you how to spin. You can print one out from our resources or just draw one on a piece of paper. That works great. Get a pen or a pencil and a paper clip, and you're ready to spin. So Mrs. Obenchain and I are going to start at the start, and we're going to use our pen in different colors to mark where we are. We're going to be racing to the end. So I'm going to use the die to roll. So I rolled a 3. That means that I get to move to the first dot pattern that has a 3. So that means I'm right here. Okay, let's see what Mrs. Obenchain gets on her spinner.
I got a 1. So that's not bad.
Oh.
I followed the path along. There's the 1. I'm going to use a bigger circle.
Good.
I'm the big circle and she's the small circle.
Perfect. Okay, let's see. This time I rolled a 6. Do you remember what the dot pattern for 6 looks like? We can find it by looking for 3 dots and 3 dots together, right, on one die. So for me, I'm going to move from here. I only get to move one space though, don't I? That's okay. Oop. Ah, there it is. Okay.
All right, let's see what I get. I got 6. And you guys have already talked about the 6 looking like 2 rows of 3. So it's right next to where I am. I'm going to move myself over to this one.
Okay. This is a pretty close race so far, isn't it?
We're both on 6.
We're both on 6 and we're just a couple of spots apart. Okay, so this time I've rolled a 2. 2 is pretty easy to recognize, isn't it? We'll have 1, 2 dots. So I'm gonna come off of my 6 and let me see, where's that 2? Oh, here's a 2. Oh. How many spaces did I move?
She moved a lot, didn't she?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces.
Whoa, that was a lucky roll.
roll.
Oh, I got the line. Oh, I got a 1 again. Well, that's not bad. It kind of puts me right behind Miss Carness, doesn't it? One, 2, 3, 4. I got to move 4 spaces.
All right. we still are what they call neck and neck. That means we're right near each other in this race. This time I rolled a 4. Do you remember how we could notice a 4? For a 4-dot pattern on a die, it looks like 2 dots and 2 more dots. It's a double, isn't it? Do you see the double? The 2 and 2 for 4? Where is it? I'm here. Not that one. Not that one. Nope. Ah, here it is. 2 dots and 2 dots. That's my 4. And how many spaces did I move? 1, 2, 3, 4. I made 4 jumps or moved 4 spaces.
I rolled another 1. I keep getting that. Let's see if that works out to be a good idea. Not a 1. Nope, nope. Look, that jumped me right up in front just by 1 spot. Those are easy to recognize too.
Yes. She rolled a 1 and she got 1 space ahead. That's lucky. We'll see who gets to the end first. I've rolled a 4 again. And 4 is, how do we recognize 4 again? Ah, yes, a double, 2 and 2.
That's what you got last time, huh?
That is what I got last time. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I moved 7, and there is my pattern for 4. 2 and 2. That was another big roll. Got to move a lot of spaces on that one.
And guess what? I spun and I also got a 4. So does that mean we land on the same one? Is that how the...
Oh, I think so. And there's no rule for that. I think we can both stay on the same space.
We're tied.
Ooh. That means we're even when we're tied. Okay. This time I got a 6. The pattern for 6 is another double. Do you remember what makes it? That's right, a 3 and a 3 makes 6, right? Okay, so, I see, here's a 6. And how many spaces did I move to get to that 6? I jumped 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Let's see where Mrs. Obenchain lands.
A 2. I got a 2. All right. I'm looking for that 2. Ah, it's this purple one. Oh, I gotta. Well, we're on a race, so I should just get rid of this first. All right. If we hurry, we might be able to finish before we're out of time.
I think so. Oh, I was just going to go on ahead. I have to roll first, don't I, to see where to go. I rolled a 1 this time. I see the 1, right? 1's pretty easy to spot. So I'm going to move right here, right in front of Mrs. Obenchain because we're following this path, right? So I end up here. Let's get rid of that one. We are so close to the
Would
end.
you believe I spun and got a 1 also?
We're tied.
So we're tied again. Roll it up, Miss Karnes, and see what you get.
Okie dokie. I get a 6 this time. Wow, look, the very next spot is a 6, and I know it because it has a 3 and a 3. So I'm here, moving from here.
And
Okay.
I also rolled a 6 again. So we're tied, but I think we're gonna have to stop. I think we're out of time. We just need to wrap up. We'll just have to say we tied maybe, Miss Karnes.
I'm okay with the tie. I like ties. Everybody wins.
Right.
I say, that's what I say about ties. All right, so kiddos, Thank you for being with us today with At Home at APS. We thought about lots of things today. We worked on our calendar, our number of the day. We thought about lots of ways to make numbers, different ways to make 23, different ways to make 5, different ways to make 11.
And remember, you're making your own set of either 11, 22, or 44.
Don't forget your counting jar. Use your hundreds chart at home to play a number puzzle game and practice counting with somebody at home. Do some alternate counting.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.